What's up guys, Kevin Cage here with another crypto update. We'll keep this video short and sweet. We're just going to run through the price chart super quick and then go through a few pieces of recent news. And just so you guys know, later this week I'll be away from YouTube for just a bit. I'll 100% be back during the first week of September. I'll be taking a trip up north with Emily to see the parents, so hopefully driving in the Yukon territory. So anyways, if you guys don't see me making videos during the end of this month, you know why? With my luck, the market might finally retrace when I'm gone. So anyways, super quick, looking at the Bitcoin price chart, comparing the previous cycles for anybody new, just to explain what I'm ideally looking at when I'm comparing the previous cycles. I actually need to fix this chart just so it's a little bit closer to that cycle top right there. So essentially, we have this cycle in 2013, Bitcoin got its first major move relatively quickly. On the weekly chart, no major pullbacks, just green candles all the way up. Looking at the following cycle, this is one of the longest cycles in length from the 2013 peak up until getting that first major move. And what we can see here is that Bitcoin didn't get its first major move right away. It actually poked into an all-time price for 2 weekly candles, came back down, and then got that first major move 60 days later, about 2 months later, so taking out the previous high. Looking at the next cycle during 2020, so this was similar. If we go to the daily time frame, you're going to see little wicks into all-time highs. So ballpark, it really just took about 2 weeks for Bitcoin to get that first major move. So we're on the weekly time frame. I'll show you what I mean shortly. On the monthly time frame, the first major move, or the first large monthly candle, taking out the previous cycle top. So looking at where we're at today, we can see Bitcoin technically created an all-time high price around March 8th. We can see this little wick right here during the week of March 4th, and we've been ranging without seeing a first major move for over 150 days. So we've yet to see that first large major move. We'll go down to, or go up to, the monthly, and we'll turn on the 8-month EMA just to compare the previous cycles. We can see we've yet to see that first large monthly candle body or first major move taking out the previous cycle top like we've seen for the last 3 bull runs. Alright, so I just wanted to point that out. We know that it's very important historically to keep the monthly candle bodies closing above the 8-month EMA. That level today is around 58,400. So, by the end of this month, if we close below it or well below it, the trend is looking weaker. If we maintain above, it's still looking similar to previous cycles, maintaining above with monthly candle bodies despite sharp wicks below. And I've also pointed out the length, just using the longest cycle until that first major move. And just turning the lights on, we can see. So the peak of the price or the peak of the RSI until getting Bitcoin's first major move, that first large monthly candle. Taking that length, we are still in the range for the previous cycle. So in this entire trend line, that is September up until May. So we'll see what the future holds. We are either getting another cycle or we don't, and we're technically still within the range or the length of the range to get another cycle, specifically looking at price action after each election every 4 years for the Bitcoin price chart, which lines up with the liquidity cycles that Raul highlights. So we've seen up after elections, up after elections, up after elections, diminishing returns. So if Bitcoin does not break above $240,000, it is still diminishing returns compared to the previous cycle. So again, this is all noise until we can see official confirmation with the first monthly candle or the first major move for Bitcoin like we've seen for the last 3 cycles over the past 10 plus years. If we don't get that, that is not confirmation. And historically, after getting just that first major move for Bitcoin, we know that Bitcoin historically runs anywhere from 200 to 300 days until finding its cycle top, which would be absolutely amazing. So anyways, at least looking at the Bitcoin monthly price chart today after this recent move, nothing is looking particularly strong. We can see the monthly RSI is pointing down. So as of now, holding near that 8-month EMA is very important in maintaining this uptrend with this trend line. And here's a super quick example of the Bitcoin price chart on the top on the monthly versus Bitcoin dominance, looking at the previous 2 alt seasons. So turning the lights on, Bitcoin dominance crashed 60% as Bitcoin is drawing major moves and all-time highs or creating higher highs. So that was around March of 2017 on both of these charts. I'll try to align these vertical lines right there with that. Let me size it up a little better. So right there. Then we can see another 1,400 days passed, or just multiple years passed, and then we got another crash for Bitcoin dominance, and we also got Bitcoin drawing its first major move. So around the period of the same time, whether one is before the other, it's relatively close per the past 2 cycles. Bitcoin dominance crashes, and Bitcoin is going up, creating higher highs, in that sense alt's up. So looking at Bitcoin dominance crashing the last 2 cycles, this sent the alt market up a lot. So if you think that Bitcoin is already topped out, I'm still looking at Bitcoin dominance because per history, when and if this crashes, I expect a variety of assets to still retrace. So whether it finds this top here or it runs even higher and crashes, when it crashes just like here and here, I expect alts to go up. Alright, first up, I have a super quick clip to play by Crypto Law TV with a recent interview with Stu Elderati over at Ripple.
I wouldn't be surprised if the SEC does appeal, but I'll say a couple of things. Number one, and I think this is important for folks to appreciate and understand, XRP's status as not a security and the secondary market trading of XRP as not security transactions, that is the law of the land, and that does not change even if the SEC appeals. And I would ask everyone to focus on that. Nothing in this case advances the core mission of the SEC.
So we've gone over this news earlier this month, and this is related to other things we're seeing in Dubai. So we can see Ripple announces partnership with the DIFC Innovation Hub to accelerate adoption of blockchain tech in the Middle East. So the DIFC stands for the Dubai International Financial Center. We can see that one of Ripple's regional offices, the Ripple Middle East and Africa regional office, is located within the DIFC, and in November of 2023, the DIFC approved XRP for use within the center. So since then, virtual asset firms within the DIFC or this financial center can incorporate XRP into their virtual asset services. So basically, we know that Ripple is partnered with the DIFC Innovation Hub. They have approval for XRP to be used within this financial center in Dubai, but I don't see any mention of VARA. And VARA, part of the government of Dubai, is the Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority. So, is Ripple going to ever get a VARA type of license to operate as a VASP? So going through their website, we can see a list of virtual asset service providers, and we can see all the different categories. We have 21 results found. So we can see which are active right now in status and which are pending. So we have WatsPay right there, which is pending. For those familiar with WTK, we can also see Binance. We have Deribit, which is pending. We have, let's see, what else? I believe there's OKX, we already scrolled past. We have Toko, so a few groups. We have Bybit as well. Which other organizations are we going to see in the future? Alright, next up, we can also see, speaking of Dubai, we have this article that just came out. Dubai court recognizes crypto as a valid salary payment. So we have a UAE lawyer said that the ruling shows the growing acceptance of crypto in employment contracts, recognizing the evolving nature of Web3 financial transactions. So anyways, you get the gist related to this. This is just a matter of time, but if you did want to reference the case number and look more into this, we can see Dubai court recognizes inclusion of tokens in salary. Alright, next up, we have a special giveaway going on with iTrustCapital. This is linked right in the top of the YouTube video description for anybody interested for the grand prize, the second place prize, and the third place prize.
You just gotta keep living, man. Livin.
So I have this linked in the top of the YouTube video description for anybody interested, because it is a decent giveaway and it's super easy to enter. Just name and email address, and if you just followed them on Twitter or did other things, you can get even more entries. So definitely interesting. You guys can also just visit iTrustCapital.com and go right to the website and scroll over in this little news tab, and then we can click that. So that'll take you right to it if you're interested. We also had some really good news for VELO or VELO protocol recently. They are officially available on Uphold for US residents. And for anybody interested, we have Uphold available right in my link tree. We also know shared by SALT Conference, so we have the Wyoming Blockchain Symposium panel announcement, and this is taking place tomorrow. We can see August 19th to the 22nd, so a bunch of speakers. We can see institutional adoption of crypto, tokenized funds, the growth of ETFs. We have BlackRock, we have BitGo, a qualified custodian, we have Morgan Stanley, we have Securitize. Looking at the speakers, we also know that the CEO of Casper Labs will be there too. We know Anthony Scaramucci of SALT and Skybridge Capital, which is a backer of Casper Labs, and the recent interview of Anthony with Mernal on his YouTube channel was really good. But remember that Anthony Scaramucci was also in that recent meeting with the White House officials with Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larson, I believe Danelle Dixon, a bunch of different organizations. Alright, last but not least, we have a bunch to cover in future videos, but we'll finish up with this. So this is Jack McDonald for Ripple discussing what makes a stablecoin stable. And who is Jack McDonald? Well, he sits on the board of directors of Standard Custody. We also have right there the founder, Arthur Brito, essentially the creator of the XRP ledger, or one of the co-creators. We know at least back in June, I need to keep tabs on this, we can see Ripple Labs closes Standard Custody acquisition deal. So Jack McDonald will remain the CEO of Standard Custody while also serving in his new role as Senior Vice President of Stablecoins at Ripple. There's a bunch in this. We can see Ripple highlighting Standard Custody's licensing as a core feature of the digital asset custodian, pointing to Standard Custody's regulatory approval from the New York Department of Financial Services. So this is one of the strictest financial regulators when it comes to digital assets. So we can see that directly on their website, the highest standard for regulatory and compliance excellence, a qualified custodian. We can see fiduciary under New York state banking law. Discussing the acquisition of Medico by Ripple, even right here, the institutional crypto custody industry will reach $10 trillion by 2030. According to Chainlink, the emergence of real-world asset tokenization, a market that could swell to over $800 trillion if all the world's capital assets are tokenized. So that requires all of them.
I'm Jack McDonald, and this is Crypto in a Minute. Stablecoins, as the name implies, are digital tokens that are designed to be less volatile than other types of cryptocurrencies or digital assets. There are different types of stablecoins. Some are backed by other cryptocurrencies and are going to be inherently more volatile, while others are designed to be more stable, and those are the ones that are really backed by government-backed securities or sovereign-backed securities. So let's think about a US dollar or a euro or a Japanese yen. You give me a dollar or a euro, I give you a digital token representing that dollar or euro. You can do lots of different things with it. You can invest with it, you can save it, you can use it as a store of value. And at the end of the day, when you want that dollar or euro back, you give me the token, I give you the euro. You have the confidence that it's stable, it's retained its value, and it has the same value on the way out as it did on the way in. That's why stablecoins are stable. And I've got a few seconds left.
If you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting the like button and sharing your thoughts down below. As always, you can find all links, including resources for charting, trading bots, platforms, wallets, portfolio trackers, and exclusive discounts in my link tree at the top of the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.